HTML interview questions and answers, comprehensive guide by procoders. Looking to hire an HTML developer? Looking to land an HTML job? We'll walk you through common HTML interview questions employers are asking new HTML recruits from beginners to veterans. What do you need to know before hiring an HTML developer? It's not just a matter of asking HTML interview questions before you hire HTML developers. There are several general things you need to know. How many years of experience do they have? Do they have a programming or IT management degree? How many cases do they have in a portfolio? How many languages, frameworks, and libraries do they use regularly? Do they have experience creating web applications for companies in your industry vertical? List of HTML developer interview questions and answers. If you're looking to hire a front-end developer, it's important that you understand the common HTML developer questions companies are using. We've outlined some of the more common test questions and how candidates answer HTML interview questions for experienced programmers. Beginner-level questions. 1 to 2 years of experience. Is HTML used in web development? This may seem obvious, but it's a very common HTML interview question. HTML is a hypertext markup language that is common to the entire World Wide Web. Using it allows designers to create and display pages on the web. The hypertext markup language is added as tags to ensure that content displays consistently and is intended no matter what kind of device it's displayed on. What is the function of tags? Tags are HTML commands that are placed around copy and content to ensure it behaves on the page as it should. It starts with the opening symbol and ends with the closing tag. What are the differences between HTML and XML? HTML is good for rendering things on the screen, while XML is better for describing what things are. HTML emphasizes the front end, focusing on the user experience, while XML is more back-end focused and regulates processes and databases talking to each other. Why do boxes sometimes appear on a rendered page that's been designed with hypertext markup language? Some HTML commands are not supported by the browser that's currently running the page. When this happens, small broken boxes appear where the code used to be. It keeps the characters from rendering properly on the page. Intermediate HTML developer interview questions and answers. 2 to 4 years experience. Why do developers often use stylesheets in hypertext markup language? When you create stylesheets in HTML, you can create a template design that can remain consistent from page to page. This shorthand makes your coding more replicable and makes it easier to both build pages out and make changes. What is whitespace in HTML design and what are its advantages to the developer? In hypertext markup language design, whitespace is considered a single space character, an empty sequence of space. By using it, you instruct your browser to collapse many spaces into one single space, improving your indent. This has the advantage of making your content tags more readable and better organized. How do you keep list elements straight and orderly in an HTML file? Indents are the key to keeping a list neat on an HTML page. The indent command can be used for lists as well as subnested lists that contain more information. Why are meta tags used? Can you show some examples of them? Meta tags are designed to speak to the search bots that are crawling your page. It tells them what is on the page description, who the author is, character set, keywords, and much more. They are critical to helping the page get found and an important part of the overall website's SEO. Can a programmer add a comment in HTML? The answer is yes. Coders can work comments into the text code that are only for the eyes of the developers who may work on the site in the future. HTML comments can be made by creating code. HTML technical interview questions. Advanced level, 5 years and up. HTML5 has unrolled some new form elements. What are they? Why are they helpful? The new functionality of HTML5's new forms gives developers far more flexibility. The new elements include keygen, which indicates a key pair generator field; datalist, a tag that allows you to call out your list of options for input controls; output, which highlights the end result of calculations you've scripted. What are the advantages of using an application cache in HTML5? This is one of the most common HTML interview questions. When an application is cached, a user doesn't have to be logged into the internet to access and view a site. Cached resources also load more quickly. And because the web browser can only update new information from the server, and not external sources, this reduces the server load. Please create a program that will render nested web pages in HTML. A nested web page is a web page that resides inside another web page. To program this, a developer must use an iframe tag to develop an inline frame. How do you program an HTML Marquee Tag and what does it do? This may seem like one of the advanced HTML interview questions and answers, but the technical answer is fairly common. The Marquee Tag is a simple command that allows an image or designated text to scroll up or down, left or right on the screen. To use a Marquee Tag, marquee, insert copy that's affected. Marquee. How does a local storage and a session storage object differ? This one of the more difficult HTML technical interview questions, as it deals with the higher level functions in a user experience. However, in general, session storage objects are only stored during any user's individual session on the web. What are transitional and strict DocTypes and how do they differ from each other? A strict DocType is a doc that includes all the necessary programming properties and components. It excludes some elements like expostulated components or frame sets. A transitional DocType is different in that regard. It contains all the components and properties that are needed and includes some items that a strict DocType excludes, such as presentational elements, like text style. It also excludes the use of frame sets. How to prepare for an interview if you are an employer. While reading blogs like this one for HTML interview questions and answers can help you understand a technical interview process. With this knowledge, it can be common to grill your interviewee with technical HTML developer interview questions and answers. It's important not to go overboard with your technical vetting. Closely examine their portfolio ahead of time and tailor the questions you ask to the expertise they have. Conclusion. Finding the right HTML developer for your project can be tricky, especially given the fact that labor markets for coders are tight all over the world. But if you ask the right HTML developer interview questions, you'll be on the fast track to finding the right fit. If you'd like to leave the vetting of incoming talent to seasoned IT consultants, pro coders would be happy to help. We have HTML developers for hire right on our staff, ready and able to onboard for your project in as little as 2 days. We'd love to show you how to put our expertise to work for you. Subscribe our channel and read more about HTML interview questions and answers. Comprehensive Guide at ProCoders blog.